Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Eli and I'm a crochet artist working on growing my small business. I sell most of my work and patterns over on my Etsy, and I post weekly videos here on YouTube. For this week's video, I am tracking all of the yarn I used for the entire month of January. I did this last month in December where I saved the label for every skein that I finished. At the end of the month, I counted up every single skein I used, and I used a total of 22 skeins. For this month, my goal is to check in every time I finish a skein and show you guys what project I've been working on. And that way, if I'm using any scrap yarn that doesn't have a label, I'll still have record that I used it, even if I don't have the actual physical label from it. So today is January 5th. I'm a little late on starting this, but I have finished one skein so far, and I used it to make this little basket. So the yarn is Bernat Blanket Big. And it says that it's a jumbo weight 7, but it honestly feels bigger than a 7 because I've used a jumbo 7 that is like half the size of this. And this is so big that I had to use a 25mm hook. And I ended up having to buy a whole new hook set just to use it for this. And then I ended up just using my hands and not using a hook at all because it was easier just to use my hands. So I'll check in with you guys the next time I finish a skein. Hey guys, same day, I just finished off my second skein, and this one's actually sad because I got so close to finishing my project, but I didn't. So I've been working on this dragon, and if you follow Crochet by Jenna, you know this is one of her patterns. It has her signature wings with the V and the no-sew limbs, arms, legs, and everything. It's adorable, this dragon. I love how it's looking. It's funny because I was saying in the previous clip about how this brown one is a jumbo weight 7. This green is also a jumbo weight 7. But this tail is not nearly as thick as this one. So it's interesting that this is a weight 7. When I started this dragon, I realized the yarn was thicker than I thought, so I realized I was going to need 2 skeins. So I was planning to get a second one anyway, I just need to go out and get it. But as I was working on it, I was getting through the body and I realized I was actually pretty close to being done, and I thought I might have enough to finish it. And then I started working on the tail and definitely did not have enough to finish it. But that's fine because I'm going to get the second skein and then make the tail a lot longer. But once this is done, he'll be available on my Etsy. But this green is the second skein that I finished, and let's see, it's by Loops and Threads, but it was their Cuddly Chenille Eco. So I've never used this one before. I was gifted it for Christmas, and it's made from recycled plastic, which is interesting. So that was really cool. Typically when I'm using Loops and Threads, I'll use like this one. They're just like Sweet Snuggles or the Sweet Snuggles Light, but I've never seen this one before. So I'm gonna go back to Michael's probably today or tomorrow and get a second skein so that I can finish off this guy. Since this is Jenna's, I feel like I have to do a hug check. Hey guys, it's January 8th and I finished off 2 more skeins of yarn, so I'm just checking in to show you. I finished off 2 skeins making this tapestry that says nap time, do not disturb. So I finished off the red and this is all that I had left. I ended up redoing the last 2 rows to make it last enough, and I was concerned for most of it if I would end up having enough, but it worked. I also finished off the white. This was all I had left. So I had a little more wiggle room with this one, but this is done. Once I weave in the ends, I'll just snip it and put it in my scrap yarn bag, or my stuffing bag actually. So 2 more skeins done, and I did keep the labels from them because I had just wound the yarn around the label once it got small enough, so I can put those in my bag for how much yarn I've used in the month of January. I'll see you guys the next time I finish off a skein. Hey guys, it is January 11th today, and I have 2 more skeins that I finished off to show you guys. So the first one that I finished off was this Caron cake, and this is all that I have left. That's just gonna go into my scrap yarn bag. The specific Caron cake is the Caron Chunky Cakes in the color Ballet Sorbet, and I used it to make this cowl hood thing. I don't fully know what these are called, but it has this like turtleneck cowl part and then this nice comfy hood. I love this so much. Let me show you guys. It is so comfy. I'm really happy with this. This one I am keeping for myself, but I'm going to make another one in like a bluish green color. This one. I got both of these skeins for Christmas, and it took just under one skein to make this, and it only took like 3 hours. So this one I'm keeping for myself. I'll make another one to put on my Etsy, and I'm just gonna change a couple things. Like the border I did here, I put too many stitches, so it's a little bit like ruffly, like you can tell. And then I'm gonna make the turtleneck part maybe like 2 to 4 rows bigger because it's just slightly tight. It'll stretch out over time, but I'd rather it be comfortable right away. So I'm gonna make another one using this one. So it took just under a skein to make this, and with the leftovers, I made this pretty scrunchie. I've made a few scrunchies to list on my Etsy. I just haven't taken pictures of any of them, and since I cut my hair off, I can't really take pictures of them in my hair anymore. So I just have to do some nice flat lays with these and hope that that looks good enough. But I'm really happy with this scrunchie. So I have the label from that one. The other one that I finished off, this is all that I have left from it. It was one that I got in clearance at Michael's, so I only got it $5 when it's normally $12. And this one was a Loops and Threads Sweet Snuggles Light, I think. And I used it to make 3 different projects. So the first one I made was this dragon, and as you can see, it's this beautiful like blossom print. I am obsessed with this color. But I made this dragon, she's adorable, and then I just used a little bit of pink and blue, also by Loops and Threads, and the white. She's got pretty golden eyes. She'll be on my Etsy soon too. Then after I finished that one, I made this axolotl, and I used more of that blue from Loops and Threads to do the details. I just freehanded this one. Took a couple tries to get the shape exactly how I wanted, but I'm super happy with it. And then I still had a little bit left, so I made this mini little bear. He has no eyes, as you can see, because I forgot to put them in while I was doing it, so I'm gonna glue them in after. I just haven't done that yet. But he's so cute, and I used every single scrap of yarn I had for this one. Like, it was literally falling apart while I was doing the ears, and I was so worried I wouldn't have enough because this yarn shed so much. So as I'm like putting it in the needle to bring it through, it's falling apart. But I got it done. The ears are fully secured on, and I had just enough, so that was perfect. So 2 more skeins to go into my skein basket. Hey guys, it is January 14th and I have finished off 2 more skeins of yarn. So I'm going to show you what I made. The first one I finished off was this Loops and Threads in black, and it was a scrap yarn skein. So I used it to make the flippers for a new penguin pattern I'm working on, and the eyes as well. So there wasn't much yarn, so I just used it to finish off this, and I'll be starting a new skein to make the body. And then the other one I finished, I do have a little bit left, so I'm debating whether or not this actually counts. This one I used to make 4 different things. So the first one is this hooded cowl, similar to the pink one you guys saw. And then with the leftovers, I made 3 scrunchies. And I did the cowl a little bit different for this one, so I had more yarn. So that's why I was able to make 3. But we have this really light blue one, this like medium blue teal, and this darker teal. And I think they're so pretty. I love how they turned out. So for the skein of yarn, I have this much left, but I can't think of anything to do with this because it's not nearly enough to make a scrunchie, and that's like the smallest project I've made before. So I'm going to be keeping it in my bin for now, and I think I'll decide by the end of the month whether or not it counts, because I feel like technically it doesn't count. There is yarn left on this, but I have no idea what I can make with it. Like, I was thinking maybe I could make a pom-pom, but I have no use for a pom-pom, and I don't want to just make something for the sake of making it. So for now, it's going to stay in my bin, and hopefully I'll think of something by the end of the month to do with this. Hey guys, it is January 19th, and I finished off another skein of yarn. I basically finished off this skein of Loops and Threads in white. This is not nearly enough to do anything with, and it's also been used a bit, so it is shedding quite a lot. So I'm just going to put it right in my scrap bin and say that this one is done. And I used it to make this little bear with a pink heart. This is for my Valentine's Day collection that's going to be available on my Etsy. Well, I guess by the time this video comes out, it'll have already been available, maybe still available for purchase. But this is the little bear I made. Hello, hello. Today is January 31st, which means it is the last day of the month, the last chance for me to finish off any other skeins of yarn, any other scrap yarn I have, and I still have not finished off any other skeins from the last time that I updated. I've made a bunch of different pieces, a ton of different things, which you guys will see in my other video of everything I crocheted this month, but none of them finished off any yarn. The last one that I was hoping I would finish in time for the end of this video is this project I've been working on. I have 4 granny squares here, and I'm going to be using them to make a granny square like hood, I guess, but I still have yarn from it and I haven't finished it, so it doesn't count. I've gotten so close to finishing so many, and they've all just had really little scrap amounts left, but enough to make a project or enough to work on a project with them, so they don't count. I have I almost finished white, I almost finished purple, Joe's using for this one, One Piece Space Princess, but I still haven't finished any of them. So I think I definitely slowed down towards the end of this month on my yarn usage, which is totally fine, because near the end of this month or the last week or two, I was doing some more specific projects that used a little bit of a bunch of different colors rather than projects that used a lot of one color, which is that's fine. I made some more items that are going on my Etsy. I worked on some more patterns. So overall, I'm totally fine with that. Since it is the last day, we can go through how much yarn I used. So we have this one from earlier in the month, and I'm going to count this one as done because it's such a tiny little amount. The only thing I could make with this is a pom-pom, so I think maybe I'll save it for when I need to make a pom-pom, a blue pom-pom. But when I take it off, it feels like more. Okay. I'm so torn on this one. Okay, I'm gonna change my mind and say that I'm not using this one because this is an amount of yarn. Let me know if you guys think I made the wrong decision and if I should say it's done, but I don't know. Just let me know your thoughts. Alright, so how many skeins do I have here? 1. Apparently I only have 9 skeins of yarn here, so I don't know if that is accurate at all, because I feel like I finished way more than this. This does not feel like this month with how much I made, I don't feel like I only finished 9 skeins. But maybe I did. Who knows? Not me. I don't know. This feels disappointing. Once I finish editing this video and see if this is actually accurate, then I will decide how I feel about this amount. Hello, it is February 4th, so I didn't take too long to finish filming this, which is surprising. But I am almost done editing this video, and I watched it through, and it looks like I did only finish 9 skeins or whatever the final number is. I already forgot, but it looks like that was accurate, and I'm totally fine with that. I definitely was surprised at first because I had expectations from the month previous. I did buy a lot of yarn this month, but that's because I'm building up my stock, and I really haven't bought much yarn in the months before other than for Christmas presents, because that is totally separate. So yeah, on the other hand, I did make 55 different pieces this month. So if you're interested in seeing any of those pieces, you should check out my other video showing every project that I made this month, because it is way more interesting. I finished so many more pieces, whatever the words are there. And I make a bunch of fun, cute designs, and I finished off 3 patterns. I think I started another 1 or 2 patterns on top of that. And I made a bunch of different things: amigurumi, wearables, hats, accessories, mushroom necklaces, a bunch of fun stuff. So you should definitely check that one out and see everything else I made. If you did watch this video all the way to the end, thank you so much for supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. I'm almost at 500 subscribers, which is crazy. So thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video for more content, and I post new videos every week on Fridays. So thank you guys. See you next week.